Connection podcast for the fans, by the fans. Well, we're back to a trio this week. Cam has graced us with his presence again.
Not skiving.
Well, graced is a strong word.
Harvey was actually saying in the chat before this about how much he missed me. So
No. I sent a text saying I missed Cam, but I really didn't. Like once I'd seen him, I just thought, oh, I've not really.
We all love each other deeply. But anyway, how are we all getting on?
Yeah, not bad. Bit of a, I say it's felt like a week off rugby because obviously we're taking the break off the Six Nations, but there has been rugby.
There has.
Going back to the usual URC Premiership.
Exactly. It has been good, actually, to be fair.
It has been good. So where would we like to start? Do you want to start
Premiership as always?
I think Prem, but I'm biased.
Yeah. Prem? Yeah, we'll Prem.
I mean, start with Prem.
Yeah, fine. So started on Friday night where Bristol Bears beat Newcastle Falcons 30 points to 12. Gloucester get a narrow win over Harv's beloved Quins 28-26. On to Saturday, Bath just can't seem to get a win anywhere. London Irish getting the victory 25 points to 10. Northampton Saints, possibly the game of the weekend, we will get into that, beating Sale Sharks 38-34 at Franklin's Gardens. And today, as we record on Sundays, Leicester Tigers, doing everyone a good favour, beating Saracens 24-18 at Welford Road. So,
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to start on Friday night, and I am sorry for this, Harv, but...
You listen, right? Of course I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you the worst reason why I'm disappointed.
Is it because Lewis Rees-Summit scored an absolute parlour and celebrated 22 metres out?
Exactly. What is... I swear, like, the man is not... Everyone was calling him a generational talent. He proved everyone wrong. And then, when people doubt him the most, he just goes and does that, especially against Quins. You know what I mean? Like, for all my luck, he's going to be recalled to the Wales squad and absolutely do a number on us this week.
There's something I've noticed about Lewis Rees-Summit since his return in that game. He doesn't just stand on the wing anymore. He now tries to feed his way into the centre and almost look for something to do.
Yeah, well,
I've noticed that as well. I find that although I still think that he's a bit of a one-dimensional player, bit of a one-trick pony, he's got his pace and he's a decent finisher. He has definitely developed his game. I still don't think he's a generational talent, but he's definitely improving at Gloucester. So
I'd say I think that was his worst enemy. The fact that he was almost just so fast that if you give it onto the wing, he'll go, because everyone's just gonna chuck a load on the wing and they're gonna know where Gloucester or Wales are trying to exploit space. Playing it now, sort of, within the middle in the slot, it's kind of a. If Samet can get that on track, then he'll change the path of his performances, his career, or whatever you want to.
100%. And I mean, the modern day wingers have so much more to do that, it's no longer a case of the man on the wing gets the ball, runs fast. You have to, especially at international quality and top level club rugby, you have to be good on the high ball. You have to be able to cut in. You have to be able to defend. A lot of wingers usually counter-rucking now. You have to be a good kicker as well, because especially at international level, a lot of wingers are given kicking responsibilities. So yeah, I suppose for his part and for Gloucester, it's good that he's developing his game. And yeah.
I just want to mention two more quick points before we go into a different game. Two very special occasions on either end. So Valor Pavaruskin, the big prop of Gloucester, got his 100th appearance, and Danny Kerr made history for Quins. He is now the most capped, shall we say, Harlequin of all time at 300.
How insane is that? What, 350 caps?
352
caps.
I know.
That's insane.
Bloody hell, Cam, you forgot the two there. Those two are important.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I mean, Danny Kerr is a legend. I mean, I think he will go down as one of the greatest Quins of all time. I'm not saying the greatest, but I mean, he'd definitely be worth in for a shout, I reckon. Very loyal servant to the club. Has kind of been there through thick and thin, obviously with recent struggles and obviously recent highs as well. But all in the same season as well. But
it was a weird season.
Exactly, but he's stuck with us and he's always kind of believed in the cause. He got relegated with us, I think, back in 05 as well. So he loves Quinn.
And he doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Oh, if anything, he's moving on with the game. I mean,
I was still saying the Premiership. He's top 5, maybe even top 3 scrum halves for me.
Oh, 100%.
So fair play to the guy. The longevity for his career is insane.
Exactly. Now put him back in the England squad.
There we go. But we're going to move on to what I would say is the best game of the weekend because it had everything in it. Down to Franklin's Gardens, Northampton Saints against Sale Sharks. Just to point out, lads, Sale Sharks were 24-7 up at half-time.
Yeah.
But they were their own worst enemy. It was Manu Tuilagi's triumphant return. And 14 minutes in, he killed poor Tommy Freeman with a forearm to the face.
Just silly, wasn't it?
Manu, what
was that?
A bit of a dick, really. Like, I think a lot of us have been hyping up Manu's get back in the England squad, at least make a late return during Six Nations.
Can't do that now with that.
He just ruined it now, hasn't he?
Well, to be fair, and I think the likes of Ollie Lawrence are going to keep him out that squad for at least this tournament. But
I'd say for at least this tournament, but I think he'd want to be on Borthwick's good books anyway. Because there is another tournament towards the end of the year that he might want to be available.
But you see a few red cards, and you're like, probably not cynical, definitely dangerous, but that you don't see many red cards from the ball carrier himself.
Manu, I'm not saying Manu's got he's not got a reputation, but this was very Chris Ashton-esque, just complete knockout Mike Tyson style. But
I've seen arguments for he's just going for a handoff. I'm pretty sure his fucking fist was bald. I think he was just going to put the man on the floor.
Oh, listen, if you can get away with it, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
You
can't these days. You just can't get away with it these days.
Manu, you're a decent bloke, but stop being a dick. Come on.
Do better.
Yeah.
Do better.
I want to praise. We'll go into the Saints for now quickly. I do want to praise Fraser Dingwall. It was him that got the winning try, but just even on the defensive end, he was just getting turnover after turnover, and he was just being essentially a nuisance to Sale Sharks, and it was actually really lovely to see. He has been, I'd say, one of the more overlooked players in the Premiership over the last however long, maybe a year and a half, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, whatever. I think he's just been put in the England squad.
Yeah,
I don't know. His name's a bit Scottish to me.
I've seen the likes of
look at you stealing players again.
Oh, it's just what we do, man. Just jealousy. It's just fickle people that aren't happy with it.
Exactly. The S in Scotland stands for South Africa.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think Fraser Dingwall. I could be wrong. We have made a few edits in the England squad. I think Fraser Dingwall's on the list. If not, I'm just gonna have
some big names on the list. Actually, some big names.
A quick gander. I mean, I don't want to completely change the what's it called? Don't want to completely change the mood here, but
yeah.
I could swear he's just been put in.
Happy days. There we are then.
I'll be more than happy. Along with Caden Murley, so up the Quins.
I'm glad you mentioned him. What does he have to do to actually get a start for England? Or against England?
Murley?
Yeah.
Just do what he does. You know what I mean?
He's been doing what he does.
He's been very, very good. He's a try scorer.
Do you want to know his try rate? Like so in 19 games, I think this goes into last season as well.
Yeah.
19 games played, 18 tries scored. No caps. What is going on?
This is what I'm saying. And, he's not just, I think he's like 5'5" or something like that. He's a small lad. But
so if you're watching this, Steve, Sorts it out.
Like regular listener.
He's a small lad, but he packs a punch. He's strong, but he's strong on his own. I mean, he's defensively pretty sound. He's got basically everything you need from a modern winger.
Basically, Tesco basic Ches and Colby.
Just a little bit better.
Ooh.
Oh, I've got you there.
Darcy Graham, Cheslin Colby, Ken Murley, but Ken Murley's not capped yet, so we don't know what he can do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's going to be up here.
Curtly Aronson would have Darcy Graham.
He's the midget John Olomu. Like, he's going to be.
Midget John Olomu.
Anyway, we're going off topic now. We're now just fanboying over Ken Murley. He is a great player, and we do love him, and hope to see him get capped soon. We're going on to Sunday's game, though, just to round off the Premiership. Saracens got beat.
Just something we like to see, isn't it? We just like to see it.
And if anyone was going to take it to Saracens, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Man of the match performance for the elderly man.
Not just any elderly man. He's bloody brilliant. And I knew this.
Can't deny it.
We shouldn't have let him go, man. We had to stick with Hugh Jones for a whole season. Like, why are we...
Okay.
He's just doing a fit.
I'm ignoring that. But anyway, on to Mike Brown, just because you mentioned him. Player of the match. On his debut for the Tigers, 17 carries, 106 metres made, 1 try scored.
On a debut. Back to the big game. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Please come back to Quins, Mike.
No.
Ignore him. No, I think there's a lot of bad blood there now.
Don't do it.
There probably is, to be fair. I heard his interview. I almost cried.
Anyway, that's basically the Premiership. It's all to play for from like 3rd to about 7th. There's about 2 points in it.
Yeah, and you know what? Do you have the table there?
Say that again?
Yes.
Don't look. Don't look at the table, man.
Okay, I glanced at it, but I didn't really see it.
If you had to guess where Quins are now.
Where Quins are?
Yeah.
Are you 4?
Can I look?
We're 7th.
Woo! Yeah, well, there's 4 points between you and Saints are in 3rd. So
yeah, it's going to be tight. And to be honest, I'm starting to get a bit shaky. You know what I mean?
Just a quick prediction, right? Just for fun.
Oh God.
Who's finishing in your top 4? Ignore Sattersons and Sale because they're
they're way ahead of the pack.
Oh, yeah.
There's no chance they're not finishing top 4.
So for everyone listening, just for context, Saints are currently in 3rd with 38 points. Gloucester's 4th with 37. London Irish are 5th with 35. Chiefs, Quins, and Leicester are all on 34 points.
Right. I don't actually see it changing. It's going to be Saracen, Sale, Northampton, Gloucester.
Okay.
See, I think either I can see either Irish or Quins sneaking ahead of Gloucester.
If we get 4th, that's an achievement. I'm not saying I've lost hope, but I wouldn't say there's as much as I would like.
You know what? I'm quietly confident that Chiefs could just sneak 4th.
But it takes one game.
To be fair, they've had one less game than everyone else in the top 4 hunt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well.
Yeah, exactly. So once that levels out, then.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It could just be that one game that makes the difference.
Wait, did Chiefs not play this weekend? They didn't.
No, there was no Chiefs this weekend.
Nope. Okay, fair enough.
But
predictions for Prem then?
Yeah.
What do you mean predictions for Prem? There's no games on.
Oh yeah,
next week. There is.
Oh, there is. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
we'll run through them.
Yeah.
Bath versus Bristol. I'm going Bristol by 4.
I was going to say Bristol by 7.
Bristol by 10.
Sorry, Bath. Saracens host Newcastle Falcons. Sarries by 17.
Sarries by 25.
Sarries by 15.
Please say 15 for a second.
Well, probably.
Northampton Saints host Gloucester. I'm going to
Franklin's Gardens. Saints by 12.
Gloucester by 4.
Ooh.
I'm going to go Gloucester by 6.
Okay.
London Irish versus Leicester Tigers.
Leicester by 13.
Oh, okay.
Irish by 3.
Oh,
I reckon this is where Leicester turn it around.
I'm going to go Leicester by 8.
I
Leicester
reckon
take-
Leicester will turn it
Leicester
around
make a
while
push for the
internationals are gone.
playoffs.
And lastly, we have Exeter Chiefs versus Sale Sharks. I'm going Exeter by 5. Nice little try.
Sale by 18.
Why do you hate me?
I was going to say Sale, but I was going to say Sale by 2.
Oh, but Sale are bloody good, man. Like, they actually are.
I know, but come on, man.
Listen, I have to be perfectly honest. I even said Saracens by a bloody massive margin.
Yeah. You're a saint for that, so you're not. Anyway, Cam, your prediction.
I said Sale by 2. Easy,
Nice.
boys. Come on now. Family podcast.
Fair enough. Anyway, so going on to the URC. Friday night,
Yes.
Munster just absolutely thumped the Ospreys, 58-3. Glasgow continue their momentum. I think that's 10 wins on the bounce for them. 17-11 over Ulster. On to Saturday, the Lions come up short against Cam's beloved Sharks, 29-7. Stormers edge out the Bulls, 23-19. Defence didn't exist between Zebre and Connaught because it finished 57-34 to the boys in green. My beloved Edinburgh just didn't turn up in Wales, got absolutely pumped silly by the Scarlets, 42-14. Cardiff getting a good win over Benetton, 30 points to 13. And Leinster beating Dragons because Leinster do what Leinster do at the RDS.
Oh, it's just boring by now.
Can we just... I don't even want to talk about it in depth because the scoreline says it itself. But Munster Ospreys?
Oh,
Wow.
what an embarrassment. I'm sorry to say, but it is embarrassing.
It's so bad.
Like, I know, like, people, Osprey supporter will say, the state of the WRU at the moment, you know, how can players play under these conditions? Scarlets thumped Edinburgh. What's your excuse?
And Cardiff got a big one as well.
You know, like,
Yeah, against the greatest side of all time, Murray.
against the greatest side of all time.
No, but the thing is, it's not even just like there was individual... I mean, yeah, Gavin Coombs got a hat-trick, but every other single try scorer was different.
Yeah.
Bekitov, Carberry, Patterson, Zebo, Daly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And also Zebo just gave... Did anyone see that Zebo stare at the end of his try?
No.
Oh, it's
one of the games I missed, unfortunately.
It's about as Simon Zebo comes. Fair play to Ospreys for actually taking the lead at the start of the game. However, that's all they did.
To me, that's worse. If you take that 3-0 lead and then you get beat 58-3, it's just embarrassing.
Well done, Stephen Myler. You scored points.
Hero, so yeah. But yeah, that's all I really need to say on that. Saturday, you know what? He's not been here, so we'll let Cam discuss his South African derby.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make it quick because I don't have an ultimate much to say. Bonus point win, very happy with that. Really pushing now for our qualifying spot. And we've got a game over the other teams with Ulster next week, so that's encouraging. First half, poor, I think. Lions were dominating possession and territory for the majority of the first half. And then we sort of just clicked because Kerwin Bosch is a gift from God. But second half, much better. Scored the tries we needed, kept the Lions scoreless. And I think it shows that we can get decent wins without our Springboks, which is one of the biggest criticisms. And a criticism I've made of my own team is we're too reliant on our starting team. So it's encouraging, but ultimately, happy with the win, but not much else more to say.
Well done, Cam.
Thank you.
I'm just going to not even talk about the team. I'm just going to praise Mike Blair, head coach of Edinburgh. He came out and basically said, nothing we did was good. It's not a performance we're used to. and we should learn better. And he took full responsibility of it. So more coaches should be like Mike Blair. I love it.
I would like to say something about this game because, funnily enough, before the game, the Scarlets defence coach, he comes into my place of work quite often to get his pre-game snacks and fuel. And he came in all in his...
That's the strangest claim to fame I've ever heard anyone.
Yeah, exactly. I've also bumped into Nigel Owens a few times at work, so that's fun. But he came in and I said to him, when I looked at him, I was like, big game today, Edinburgh. I was like, are your boys ready? And he was like, yeah, we hope we're ready and we're going to obviously try to put out a good performance. They did. And I never thought I'd say it at the start of the season. One, I never thought I'd say Scarlets are going to put 20 plus points on Edinburgh. Two, I never thought I'd say Scarlets' defence was immaculate.
I'm just going to chuck a third point out because for some reason, I don't get why, but I was getting stick online. I'm not an Edinburgh player. I don't work for Edinburgh, but hey-ho.
No, you really should do better though, Murray.
I know. I'll try. I'll work on it. But no, I think a lot of people, I'm not taking anything away from Scarlets. They were the better team by quite a margin. They didn't really be affected by the Six Nations call-ups.
No, that is also a valid point.
But I don't think Scarlets have a lot of the lads in.
Ken Owens, I think, is the only Welsh player in that squad, and Kieran Hardy.
Who?
Kieran Hardy and Ken Owens, I believe.
Oh, Ken Owens. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, those are two big losses, but at the same time...
Two big losses, but then you've got the likes of Gareth Davis as their replacement scrum half, so...
Yeah.
You know, you're not really falling short.
But it was like a 90% full strength Scarlets team.
Yeah. But I do think in a competition like this, like Ospreys being short of so many players and getting an absolute thumping, in a competition like this, you have to be able to perform without your full strength squad.
Well, see, before we move on, because there is no predictions for the URC for next week, because there isn't any URC next week. Shall we just talk about the big elephant in the room that is Welsh rugby?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
I think,
there is URC next week.
Oh, there's two games, yeah.
Two games. Quick predictions, boys. Come on. Quick predictions. Sharks versus Ulster. Both on the Saturday. Sharks versus Ulster.
Sharks by 9.
Sharks by 20 points.
Sharks by 13.
Do you know why I say that? Because I think finally we're gonna let our Springboks out and take advantage of Ulster being slightly weakened. And we need another bonus point. Anyway, Lions versus Glasgow in Johannesburg.
I think Glasgow's too good to stop right now. I'm going to go Glasgow by 12. I think it's going to be a comfy one.
Okay. To be fair, Glasgow, they've been travelling well as well. I think the last few times they've been in South Africa. Oh wait, no, they lost. Don't worry. Either way, Glasgow by 6.
I'll back our little brothers from Johannesburg. I'm going to say Lions by 3.
Fair enough.
Right, should we get on to the bigger issues?
What a mess it is.
They're bigger than maybe.
No, I didn't actually. But yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I'm so funny in it.
I enjoyed it, Murray.
Right. Anyway, so where do we begin with this?
Oh, it's just such a mess, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's how it sums it all up. You know,
it's just such a mess. So much. Where did it all start? It's all started with the CEO and whatnot. I'm sure everyone's heard of it. The issues at hand, the CEO stepping down, and then it's just spiraled from there. And
I think the stupid thing enough for me is that the reason I actually can't grip my head around it is because I've seen so many different headlines in the news. It's not just one issue.
It's so many issues.
Well, it all started, I think it was maybe a few months ago when they said they were going to axe one of the regions.
Yeah, they wanted to, from what I've heard, but the thing is, you hear so many different things every week. From what I've heard, they want to axe one of the regions and bring in one of the lower ranked English teams, like a sort of Champions Cup level English team, to replace one of the Welsh regions.
But wait, first of all, they're not Welsh.
Exactly. Thank you. So
I don't see the point in that. But
it's like when rumours were going around that one of the Welsh regions would replace either Worcester or Wasps in the Premiership.
Oh, no, that's stupid. Like,
Never came to happen. But
what isn't going on with Wales at the moment? Obviously, the player strike is probably one of the most concerning we're looking at.
definitely, and at a time, you've got maybe the second biggest sort of tournament level after the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. And there are many fears that it could get cancelled. The Wales England game. Cancelled. Yeah,
surely it can.
At the end of the day,
the thing is,
what's the alternative to it getting cancelled? Loads of the big players go on strike and they call up a bunch of children to play England.
Yeah, the thing is, I as an England fan, obviously you want to win every game, but you don't want to win it like that, do you? Like, you don't want to win against
the Six Nations is obviously,
or even if you win through a no result, if they have to forfeit, give us a 28-0 win, you don't want to win that way, do you? Like,
no. And then say England were to go on and win the tournament, then
there'd be a huge asterisk over like the whole thing.
At the end of the day, it's not great from a fan's perspective for the tournament and for Welsh fans. But can you blame them?
No, of course not. This is probably, to be fair, I mean, I don't know how many of people have watched Slammed on BBC. If we're talking about pre-Gatland, the few years before Gatland being the worst in Welsh rugby history, this might overtake it pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just talking on the pitch, because on the pitch, obviously, Wales have been poor, but there's so much going on with the WRU right now where it's not even about the rugby.
It's one of those unfortunate cases where politics overshadows the rugby.
Exactly, and I think rugby as a sport has actually done quite well to stay out of it.
Stay out of it, 100%.
I think there's so many different sports that come to mind where politics and stuff have played a part, and a lot of things have taken over from the actual sport itself. Rugby has gladly stayed away from that, but if Wales, who are a rugby mad country, I mean, their fans are some of the craziest in the whole of the world.
And historically, in the Six Nations anyway, the most successful, or one of the most successful,
exactly, and
Northern Hemisphere teams.
You wouldn't want to see anything like that happen. I mean, I know we've talked about it with Worcester and Wasps, but to have it happen to a whole nation of
you've got the problems on club scale, which are like sort of a microcosm of what's going on with the entire Welsh Rugby Union. And we're not just talking about one club team. We're talking about all the Welsh regions. We're talking about grassroots rugby. We're talking about the international squad. So listen, I joke and whatnot and say, I love to see the downfall of Wales in rugby. But honestly, and especially living here as well, it's not nice to see. And obviously for a Welsh fan, with the regional teams, the provincial teams not been doing amazing in competitions over the past couple of years. And now under PVAC and now Gatland, the national squad not performing up to par. It's not a great place to be in. And then with all this politics chucked into the mess, hopefully it gets fixed soon, because it's just another headache to add to rugby in general.
Yeah, exactly, and I think you kind of just summed it up beautifully there. And I think whatever business the WRU is in, we're not part of it. We don't know all of the inside outs. We don't know everything that's going on. But I think all we can kind of do now is hope they do get back to their best. And as much as we joke about it, we're not Welsh. We're not. Well, Cam is a little bit, but we're not Welsh. We don't support Wales, but we wouldn't want to lose them, would we?
Yeah. At the end of the day, especially Six Nations rugby, it wouldn't be the same without a strong Wales side.
Exactly. I mean, imagine if you couldn't hear that anthem under the roof of the Principality anymore. I mean, that's what rugby's all about, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, 100%. Absolute brilliant atmosphere. But I think we've summed up that probably. There's not much more to talk about on that part.
I just let you go for it because you were kind of ticking all the points I was going to say.
Just vibing off of it. Yeah.
Well, fair enough. I mean, we've kind of mentioned Six Nations, so that's kind of a breakthrough into our next segment anyway.
Yeah.
Six Nations predictions. We have. I'll leave this one. Thank you. So just a quick recap as it stands. Wales are bottom with 0 points. Italy are fifth with 1 point. France are fourth with 5 points. England are third with 6 points. Scotland are second with 10 points. And Ireland are 10 with 10 points. Better score difference.
Yeah, just different point difference. Not much, though. Not much of the points difference.
Not by much. But we do kick off next week with, in the Stadio Olimpico, Italy host Ireland.
Ireland by
it's
20.
See,
Easy.
I don't think so.
See, I do, and it's because they're at the Stadio Olimpico.
I see what you mean.
Look at what
Italy's record there is an absolute shambles.
They never played once in Rome in the autumn, and they beat Australia. And
I mean, they played France in Rome, and they run them close.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be an Irish victory, but Italy, especially playing at home, and I think the fans getting behind them now, they do, and they are a team that are learning how to win games. Well, compete better in games. They're not going to beat Ireland. Realistically, they're not going to beat Ireland.
I mean,
but I can see them.
Do us a favour, Italy. Come on.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see Italy beat Ireland, but it's not going to happen. If it does happen, I don't know, take my shirt off and do a cartwheel.
No. Podcast. You have to do it on the street or something.
Fine. But I can see Italy causing Ireland, a few headaches, but they're not going to win.
I think home advantage and home fans might play a big part in this one anyway. And
yeah, 100%.
I think Ireland fans at least travel well, and there'll definitely be some noise from a sea of green, but I don't think Italy have enough.
No, I'll probably say Ireland by 15.
I want to say Ireland by 6. I think it could get pretty ropey.
Could be a real close game. I like that.
I just want Italy to do something. That's all I want is to do something.
But now, like maybe beat Scotland.
No, shut up. No, because
they're going to be winners anyway, so they might as well get a second win and make it better than last year.
Ultimately, if Italy can get a bonus point against Ireland and just keep in that 5th position, that's going to be a big victory for them anyway. If they can finish 5th, ultimately.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's been a while since they haven't had the wooden spoon.
We've got 2 predictions for this game for Wales England.
Okay.
1, the score prediction, and 2.
If it happens.
Will happen, yeah.
It's kind of bad to say. I can't really tell how good we'll play, but we'll still win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Wales are in such a state at the moment.
I think the 2 teams are very similar, but at different state. Like I think England are where, like, WRU issues aside and all that stuff aside, just the rugby and the team. England are where Wales would like to be. Young squad, feeding in young players. England are showing signs of improving. They're showing signs of building up these young players, whereas Wales, not so much.
To be honest, I still think we'll win fairly comprehensively.
No, 100%. I
England by 22.
Yeah, I predict England by 15, I'm going to say.
I'm going to say England by 9, just because it's for the most part it is usually a very tight encounter.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, even last year, I don't think it wasn't immensely tight. I mean, we did beat them fairly comprehensively, but
no, I meant like overall, not just obviously there has been the occasional thumping.
But then again,
I don't think a lot of problems have changed since last year. I mean, if anything, they've worsened.
We would have said last week that Scotland-Wales tends to be either a Wales win or a tight fixture.
Yeah.
Happens, so.
Sorry.
But anyway, should we head into the last game? Allez les Bleus, as they host Scotland.
This is the trickiest one.
With a bit more gusto.
Huh?
Say it with a bit more gusto.
Allez les bleus.
Versus Scotland.
I meant, yeah, whatever. That's not what I meant, though.
Oh, you meant Scotland?
I meant, yeah, say Scotland.
There we go. Hey, you're welcome.
I'm going to let you discuss this first because you already
Okay.
know what I'm saying.
My number 1 point. If there's one team who know how to win in France over the last couple of years, it's Scotland. They've done it before, pretty much with the same squad, give or take, and on good form. And it looks after 2 games that they have some sort of aspect of consistency. France are going to be aching from a loss against Ireland, so they're going to fire everything. So, and obviously playing at home. I don't know. What do you think of?
You're not asking.
Allez les bleus. Les bleus. I think France will be pumped for this fixture. I mean,
100%.
losing to Ireland is something they wouldn't have wanted at all. And to be honest, it was a great game, but it wasn't close.
No, that's the thing. There were some brilliant moments by France, but Ireland still dominated them.
They're going to take that to heart. They've had a week off. I'm not doubting Scotland, but I think France will come out fighting.
Thing is, I think France, and I hate when people talk about teams peaking too early, but realistically, I think France peaked last Six Nations.
Mm-hmm.
And then ever since then, the autumn fixtures and whatnot, very close against Australia, very close against the Springboks. Can't remember who else they played. They played some other people. And Scotland seem to be slowly peaking now. So
fair enough. They
in terms of momentum,
beat Japan pretty comprehensively. So they
yeah, but then they also got run quite close by Japan.
No, it was a fair result.
Oh, but they played Japan 3 times.
Oh yeah, they did actually.
Yeah, I was the second game.
Wasn't that in the summer?
Yeah. Sorry,
in the summer, and then they beat them 35-17 last time.
Yeah.
All right, predictions time then, I guess.
Yeah, predictions. Someone else go first because I haven't decided yet.
France by 12.
You suck. You really suck.
South Africa A by 3.
Don't mean South Africa B.
Yeah, true. South Africa D squad by 3 points.
From back your team. Scotland's going to go 3 for 3 by 5 points.
Ooh.
I feel like there's going to be a repeat, and it's going to be the big, beautiful man on the wing. It's just going to come.
I see Finn Russell doing a backflip, then slotting a drop goal. Some fancy shit
to make it 58-3 to France. Anyway. Anyway, I guess
we do random game of the week.
Let's go on to random game of the week. I know, Cam, you had one.
I do have one, and it is from the Kenya Cup. I've gone here a few times, and honestly, I just thought the names of these teams were quite funny, but the scoreline was quite good as well. It was a 50-point difference in the scoreline. The Menengai Oilers versus the Catholic Monks. 55-5 to the Oilers. So if you're a Protestant, you'd be happy with that scoreline. Catholic Monks getting absolutely dominated. Yeah, what a game it was. Didn't watch it. Never heard of either of the teams, but big up the Oilers and unlucky for the Monks.
Yeah, Cam, we thank you for your service. I have got an interesting fixture for you.
Ooh.
And it comes from Nacional, which is, I think, the French 3rd division.
Ooh.
Oh, God. Stay with me for a sec. Bourgeon Jali beat Albi 24-23 to deny Albi going into the top 2 and automatically in the semi-finals of the playoffs.
Devastating.
Absolutely.
That scoreline rocked me when I saw it.
Absolute killers, those Dolphins.
Oh my!
Well, yeah, they do have a dolphin, don't they? That's quite cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite cool.
What is this?
Murray,
Yes.
bring some sense to the world. What is your random game of the week?
My random game of the week comes from the land of the rising sun, Japan League One. The Kabuto Spears beat Mitsubishi 60 points to 22.
We love to see it. As you know, Japanese League One, top level rugby.
Exactly. Bernard Foley actually had a decent number on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, half of the Springboks play there, so it must be pretty good.
In
Well,
I forgot to mention we also had other rugby in Europe.
Oh, you forgot the Rugby Championship, European Championship.
Should I quickly skim over it?
The Barbie Six Nations.
So the what should be the Six Nations second tier. We had Portugal smacking Romania for 6, 38-20. Poland with their first ever win in the Rugby Europe Championship, beating Belgium to win, I think, the Warsaw Trophy or something like that.
Nice.
Georgia did an absolute number on Spain, 41-3, as they should because they're little cheats. And the Netherlands beat Germany to record their first win in Rugby Europe Championship history, 33-29.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad about that, but that's more just German.
I know you did. Was it a last? It was. To be fair, it was an accumulation of some penalty goals. So
can we do predictions for Rugby European Championship?
Yeah, I have some fixtures. Wait, no, I don't have any fixtures because I believe we might be looking at some playoffs soon enough.
Ooh.
I'm not too sure. To be honest, they haven't given me a fixture list, so I would have thought if they played each other once and then they go into a semi-finals and a final.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. We don't have any official fixtures, so unfortunately, no predictions, boys.
Oh well, I suppose that's that then. But
Super Rugby starting next week, though.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the latest interviews just dropped, and again, it was Super Rugby. We sat and spoke to Ollie Jaeger of the Crusaders.
Man.
Ireland under 18s.
There we are then.
Played under 18s for Ireland. Went over to New Zealand for a month and a half, and he's 12 years later, 6 Super Rugby titles. Yeah, it's insane. And what a guy!
A few chapters, but
Go and listen to the interview. You get it all there. I'm not giving it away for free, although it's free on YouTube. But you know what I mean.
There we are.
Great mark.
And it tells you that LinkedIn worked. It's our first guest done through LinkedIn. So there we go.
One of many, I say. One of many.
We've had many connections. Just none of them's really replied. Which is,
we are the Rugby Connection podcast.
We are.
Exactly. Gaining those connections every day.
But yeah, so next week we'll obviously talk about the Six Nations. Probably have some Rugby Europe Championship if there's any fixtures come out.
Hopefully.
We'll have a random game of the week. And because everyone loves Super Rugby, that's back as well.
We'll zoom over that if we got time.
Briefly zoom over that. We don't need to.
Moana Pacifica to win the whole competition. That's all I'm saying now.
We know that Cam's biased anyway, so
I think Cam took a bump to the head.
I did actually.
Too much of that petrol that he sniffed.
But yeah, well, it's always a pleasure with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
These are too modest, these are. Anyway, this has been the Rugby Connection podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the channels, hit the notification bell to get first dibs on episodes like this and great interviews because there's just so much coming out. And yeah, we'll be back next week to discuss the Six Nations, Rugby Europe Championship, Super Rugby, and we'll chuck in a random game as well. But we will see you all next time.